Welcome everyone! We are the Grin Brothers, and we're going to be continuing our playthrough of Chocobo GP!
I mean forced players characters that I didn't use.
And now you got to make sure you win 2 races in a row. Or you have to do all of them from the start.
Amazing.
Because it basically, this is like almost like a preview of the GP mode, if you want to... Like, the funny thing with the GP mode is that because I enjoy the gameplay of this game, I was into playing it at first. But seeing how little progression I was getting from the level up, because it takes such a slow trickle, really actually turned me off, because I wasn't getting rewarded for the amount of time dedicated to it. Like, I actually got in the top 8 of the first 3 times I played, which made me think everyone sucked at this game until I then proceeded to lose every other time. But I got first in my very first GP tournament mode. But even with that, the amount of reward I got for it was so minimal. Like, all the GP races I've won, and I'm still only like level 13. There's a recorder to take here as well. I'm gonna hit that chicken with this fireball. Oh, the chicken's turned into a dragon. Yeah, you need to turn here. Well, that might have actually helped you.
Well, I was about to slow down anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna win.
The thing with this level is that the longer variation of it has a shortcut you can take. Which allows you to skip over that whole section there, which makes it significantly easier to deal with as a result. Because it's that part of the level is why I struggle with it. You only have to get into the top 4, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, both of them you have to get in the top 4. Because it's how the racing works in the GP mode.
Yeah.
Until the very last race, you only have to get in the top 4. Because the top 4 players qualify for each next round.
Yeah. That's fine then. Scraping by.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why it limits who you can play as?
Well, it made sense for this part because it's like it ensures these characters are involved in the Grand Prix, the finale. So you don't race against Atler or Chocobo if you pick Claire as you picked Claire, because that guarantees that Chocobo, Atler, and Claire are all in the final race.
Okay.
So those 3 share the protagonist.
Do you get a different ending?
No, I'm pretty sure it's the same ending.
Speed boost.
Oh no, I finished the conversations last time, didn't I? Oh, conversation.
I would talk, but I
So, on a... as this is a children's game, and we've talked perfectly about child-appropriate conversations throughout, something that's naturally child-friendly, the works of Geoffrey Chaucer of Canterbury Tales.
Yeah.
But no, this part is actually child-friendly, because, like, you know how I mentioned, I can't remember if I mentioned it in the recording, but the strange universal history of just how long fart jokes have apparently existed for, given that they actually pop up fairly frequently in Geoffrey Chaucer's Canterbury Tales here. The funny thing is they actually had made a fart joke good. It was actually really funny, and I think it was the Summoner's Tale. Yeah, the Summoner's Tale. There's a moment where a friar gets tricked by a man who's basically trying to get a pinch money off of, money and food off of.
Yeah.
In the sort of like the sickly man, he goes, "I've got a gift for you, but I've hidden it down my trousers. Just reach your hands down there. Ah, I see. Wealth for sure." And the guy farts in his face, sort of thing. But not before he says, As it was such a great gift that make sure you divide it up amongst all the friars you can.
And I've lost. Literally because I got hit back to back and then fell off the cliff.
But you won some tickets!
Oh joy.
You won some tickets! Yeah, you have to go back.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like that. And hey, we got to, you know, press the plus button the moment it starts to skip over the cutscene, yeah.
Good game design, guys.
Raph, we know what the priority was with this game design.
True.
It wasn't making things better for the player. Hey, they may do a skip a feature later and it'll be like, just be sure to insert your pro debit card in here.
You can skip this if you've brought the skip NFT.
Yeah, there's sort of like sickly man sort of comment, you know, I'll give you a present, but make sure you divide it up between as many friars as you can, and you know, of course, farts in the guy. As the guy goes, the enraged friar goes to the the mayor of the area and starts complaining and ranting, and the mayor's like listens to the friar complain. And he's like, "My God, that man is a genius! He has done the most incalculable mathematical situation ever! How can one divide a fart equally amongst people? How would one divide both the sound and the smell? It is an impossible task! It's truly do I have a genius living in my town? Or a madman?" And like they hype up this whole deed of like shedding of this fart so much that it becomes funny on that ground alone. And afterwards, like, anyone who could solve this problem would also be a genius. And so you've got, like, the servant nearby, sort of, like, comments, "Lord, I think I may have a solution to your problem. And in return, all I ask is for new robes, and of the material to be made of as great a material as you think of for whether my answer is truly to your liking."
Oh.
And he explains... he basically explains the solution to divide fart equally via sound and smell sort of thing. And it's like, you are also a genius! And will make sure to allow the friar here to bestow upon this gift a second time. And everyone was happy, except the friar.
Dude.
Like the sheer hyping of it. Oh, I have to... Give me a second if you can. Just need to... You can continue playing, I just didn't want to get
I'm
you
going to restart.
Okay. Yeah, it was stuck door.
Yeah.
Door was stuck.
I assumed as much. Don't worry, I did not say a single word the entire time you were gone.
You know, that sort of joke works better if, you know, there's you're doing an on-camera thing, just staring at the screen, at the viewer. Not really if you're, you know,
Do you think
audio only.
Do you think that matters to me? Perfect stuff.
But yeah, like, I wasn't expecting the fart joke to be genuinely funny, but Chaucer definitely did it there.
Which is always good.
Mm. I can't remember whose story it was in the thing. I think it was the clerk's story.
Okay, that gave me no warning that someone was going to hit me.
But the clerk's story is afterwards. It's interesting. Not a funny one. It's but you probably best not actually say about the clerk's story in this more child-appropriate game, as of course. Actually, wait, no, children are banned from YouTube. Okay, so the clerk's story tells like it's supposed to be like a love story sort of thing. However, he has to preface all of it by, don't accept this up front. Instead, it's best to interpret it as the lover here being instead the will of God. Because basically, it's about this man who was like a good to his people sort of thing, and they loved him for it. However, they were worried about the future because he was a guy who only thought about the present and not the future. And they were like, but you need an heir to your throne. You need to marry and sire a child. This is the only request we do ask of you, my lord. And so he goes, okay, but in return, And I get to choose. You're not allowed to object to who I choose. I get to choose anyone.
Okay.
And so he gets given a year to go choose a bride. And so on the day, he goes to this village to choose this girl, who he comments is the most patient woman he's seen. And with a kindness that's not so much physical, but as in like an inner beauty to her because of just how kind and caring she is.
Yeah.
So he chooses her. However, he ends up wanting to, because he's like, she's so good that I find it unbelievable. I'm going to test to see how good she is. And basically ends up putting her through trials and tribulations.
Okay.
To the point that involves, yes, in order to prove your love to me, you must give up our daughter. Or, I'm sorry, your son has been sent away. He is dead now. Do you still love me? All of which he's faked, admittedly. But not that she knows that it's fate.
Yeah.
But it's the example here of why the guy, because the guy comments please don't. Basically, the merchant telling the story is basically as a message of please don't repeat any actions these characters do, sort of thing in his story. And it's like the actions were wicked, but think of it in a similar case to God's will. He loves us, but puts us through hardship, and we endure. And it's like, that sounds horrible. Why would you do this?
Yeah.
This is the guy. Yeah. Don't think of it as a lover. Think of it instead as your God. So don't follow God. He's a terrible person then. No, no.
Well, I'm gonna lose this race as well.
But it was
Did you see that? Like,
yeah, the position of the warp.
it'd be good if they could give you a single character that had actual control and grip.
But no, Chocobo doesn't have great grip because he's a rollerblade character.
Well, he's got the same as the one I was using before.
Claire.
Yeah.
Claire's got the most grip and handling out of all of them. I'm back and in agony! Oh god, why did I come back? Why? All I did was bring myself back to a world of pain!
Physically impossible to recover from something like that. Like, what am I meant to do? I literally got dropped into, like, 2 or 3 attacks.
It took me a few times to get past this. You know, the limitation of who you can play as was a real sort of like, oh god, moment for me.
Yeah, it seems very counterproductive.
The problem is because they've given you so many options beforehand. It wouldn't be so bad as if there was more to the game beforehand where you were stuck with, or like a longer period of time where you only had like Chocobo or Atla or Claire to play as to prep you for this. But, you know, by this point, of course, I had almost no experience with these characters aside from the one time I played them and said, I'm not a fan of how they play.
Yeah.
I'd stopped using them.
Like, it seems weird to lock you into a character. Like, such a small range as well.
And it's not like they're diversified in what they can do. And unless you get the... And until you complete the story mode, you don't have options for the other cars either.
Yeah.
Because you could change you could buy the different handling and grip, but the way to unlock them in the shop is to complete the story mode. I do find it funny the amount of times you end up taunting. Yeah, you can drift around that, by the way. It's tricky, but once you get a handle of it. That's Steiner.
Okay.
That was it for it.
Yeah, like, how do you dodge that?
You have to use an ultimate. Or I think it's, I believe Magic Barrier level 3 can block them as well. But the lower level Magic Barriers can't block ultimates. But it's why, because, you know, it's hard enough to get a hold of Magic Barrier 3, is why I typically go for holding my ultimate. It is a relief, though, that for this part, you only have to get into the top 4. And that the final races, whilst you do have to win the final race, at least with the final race, you don't have, don't have to do it back to back sort of thing. Not that it made any difference, but you came in second, so great.
Yeah. Beaten only by the character I would have been playing.
That should have been me!
Now I've got to win again.
Let's see, another thing. Well, given we're talking, I talked about the older stuff with Chaucer sort of thing. Another, well, technically older. Saw a video the other day from a YouTube channel of like mythology checker sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's basically fact-checking mythology, in various interpretations of mythology. And they, for their big subscriber special, they decided to do a video on Hercules, the Disney movie.
Okay.
And compare it to the actual myths and interpretations of Hercules.
Yeah.
And of course, the funny, consistent problem is the fact that they kept using the name Hercules when it's based off the Greek tale, where in Greek mythology he's known as Heracles.
Yeah.
Hercules is the Roman name, but they then proceed to use all the Greek interpretations of the characters instead of the Roman interpretations of the characters.
Yeah.
And I think Terra just drew herself. Yeah, Terra drove herself off the cliff. She was flicking through the script again.
Shield. I'll protect you from something.
The fire will miss you.
Okay.
But it's always a good idea just in case. Because unless you use the ZR button to see behind you, you can't really tell when it's going to hit. And that just throws you off anyway. Like, the general sort of, recurring thing, like, aside from the fact that, some of the obvious stuff, which, even I would be able to tell about it, it's like, naturally they combine a lot of elements that are clearly more so, inspired more like by Christian stories sort of thing. The fact that Hades, despite being one of the chillest, nicest dudes of the Greek mythology, is here depicted more like Satan.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, it's like, they start off with... one of the really funny things is that in the actual mythology of Hercules, half the time when they mention like the things Hades put Hercules through, sort of thing, he'd point out, actually Hera did that. Actually Hera did that. Hera did that too. It's like, hey, gee whiz, Hera should have just been the villain of the movie. It would have been a lot more straightforward.
Yeah.
The
the solution was just playing as Chocobo. Because the moment I switched to him, I won.
The another sort of thing is they say Titan, but the story of like Hercules fighting the big sort of monsters things wasn't the Titans, it was the giants, not the Titans.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that.
So why did Madeline only just get added to the show?
No idea. Well, I hope you like playing Chocobo, because whoever you played as last, you don't get a character select screen, you go straight into the next one the moment you click on the chapter.
Amazing.
So if you want to change what character you are, you have to go click on another race as that other character, and then you're the character.
But you actually get to pick?
I don't think so, but I wouldn't know. Like another interesting thing, Mel was actually Hercules' wife in Greek mythology, except the reason that the story of Hercules happened is that because of Hera, Hercules is driven insane and kills his original family.
Yes.
And that's why Hercules' trials begin, trying to redeem himself for the thing that wasn't even his fault technically.
Yeah, because she poisoned him with a type of blood or something, I think. Or I'm getting it mixed up with another mythology.
Yeah. Another really funny part with Phil, you know, the teacher sort of thing, when Phil sort of like laughs, "You, the son of Zeus," and starts making fun of Hercules for it, and then it's like, person goes, "Why? It's no different than him, than such and such, such and such," and just basically starts listing all the children of Zeus. It's actually quite common to be the son of Zeus.
Seeing as some of you are quite impatient, let us skip the formalities. This ends the opening ceremony, Coupon!
What happened to the others? They're not needed anymore.
Well, he clearly is evil.
Now to announce the Grand Prix participants, Coupon. Wait a minute. Huh? Yes! We have 2 additional new members, Coupon.
They didn't even have to try and qualify.
It's a robot.
It is.
Did it just swear at me?
I actually love Mecha Chocobo. He's although I don't use him often. Oh, he's sad.
Robo version of the protagonist. Do you agree?
Also, I love this following line.
Things up, Coupon.
Marketing is behind this, isn't it?
Which people have been using now against Square Enix, basically summing up this game's microtransactions.
Yep.
This is why I love Mecha Chocobo. He joins in with Hero X.
When you need him, he's there. Whistling a tune, he's there. Oh, it's you. Great.
Was that playing the Final Fantasy 7 or 8 battle music?
I don't know.
I've definitely listened to that soundtrack before it started playing.
Amateurs really are more trouble than they're worth. The final participant is Racing
I like Mecha Chocobo. He's just so cute.
That's one of the game's battle themes, or it's a character.
He's also a lot easier to control, I feel, than the other rollerblade characters.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not great. It's a, you know, rather than a speed up like Chocobo and Camilla have, it's a offensive one, but it's basically Terra's. Just shoots a bunch of missiles.
Wait, but there's only 5 of us here. Who are the other racers?
I'm pretty sure they're random. I can't remember who my other 3 were. I think Shona was one of them, but I don't think it's consistent. The other 3 just randomly pulled.
No, I haven't really talked much in this playthrough, but it's very hard to talk in race.
Yeah, particularly when you have to redo the race.
Yeah. Because I'm filled with rage.
I mean, you got anything to talk about other than Digimon? You talk about Digimon and Final Fantasy for Heaven's Sword.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, that's pretty much all I do. I've been playing Risk of Rain too, actually, a fair bit.
Yeah, I've been noticing that.
Yeah. It makes my eyes bleed.
Yeah, this is better because it's got a shortcut so you can skip that sequence.
Terra
I'll tell you when you come up
is
with
in
it.
the race. They're just taunting you at this point.
So who's your personal pick, Terra or Urba?
I feel Terra's easier.
Okay, you're coming up to the shortcut now, there. There. And that shortcut skips the, that 160. There's still the one at the end, of course,
Yeah.
though, but...
This one. My least favourite one.
I love it when the CPU, as high level as they are, to drive off,
Hello, Claire. You just kind of...
popped in.
Yeah.
He does that. Which is amazing to be snuck up on someone who's like 80 pounds, but... Actually, probably isn't that much saying that. Oh, fairly big for a chicken. Yeah, that's why much of a long one. Just for having that shortcut alone. One, it's cool just having a shortcut, but 2,
Yeah, to be fair...
it skips the hardest part. Because that means, you know, that little end bit, it's fair enough having just that one bit still there.
Yeah.
And it even particularly helps in the story mode, because, you know, I didn't have access to, you know, my actual characters.
Yeah. It's
And my
also-
actual characters, none of the characters have good handling of the ones you can choose.
No. It's also a matter that it just makes the level more interesting. Because...
There's not actually many shortcuts. I mean,
Yeah.
there is some pretty decent level designs, but alternative pathways are to play. Again, it's why Bridge is such a cool level.
Yeah. They need more levels like that, I think. That was easier than the preliminaries. Like, I think the small versions of the races, I like none of the, like, Mecha Chocobo. It's dead. Yeah, I feel like that's, like, more of the levels should be designed like that in the bridge. Because I feel like the small levels are too small. And because you don't have any, like, shortcuts or, like, alternate routes or diverging paths or anything, it's a bit too simple. Which I know this is a...
I just think it's a little bit unfortunate that one of the best levels in the game isn't one you actually get to do in the story mode. Even though they tease you with it. Because there's a really good level, which is the afternoon version of Chocobo's Farm.
Yeah.
The long version. And it's really good, but they don't actually do it in the story mode at all.
Wow. You're a sore loser, aren't you?
But wait! Why are you all gathered together? Only Chocobo won! He gets to make his wish! Quack, 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 quack! I have no idea what he's saying! Don't worry, it's just a moogle. Now it's a circle.
You could just...
Well, more of an oval.
Up. It's only Atlas we lost, we can go down.
Really does take the fear out of it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, no. The actual...
Not let you get away with this.
Claire didn't, get sucked in. He slid in himself. The bottle wasn't strong enough.
Before we end this episode.
Did you like Mecha Chocobo?
I didn't even see
Because that was the
Mecha
last
Chocobo.
you'll see of Mecha Chocobo. He doesn't appear in the rest of the game.
I didn't see him in the race!
Like, I love him! Look at him!
I played some Dota 2 the other day. And, they have, like, they're supposed to be, like, dramatic intros now before the match, showing off both the teams. And one of the teams, they must have had, like, an item or something where it makes them kind of do a walk rather than, like, a stationary pose. And so it had, like, the person at the front of their team, Pugna, walking.
I should get a straw for my tea at the moment. The also is very hard to drink round.
Then you had Wraith King
Yeah.
behind Pugna, not moving his legs, just gliding across the floor. And it's like, buddy, you've got a walk animation. You want to use
And then the
it?
next character, arms spread out, T-posing. Are the other two trolling us? I think they are.
But yeah, that was probably the best part of playing the games, to be honest. Yeah, I'll try and talk about Risk of Rain in the next episode, I guess.
Yeah, the final level.
Yeah. Well, I gotta think with my brain when I race. And my brain isn't very good.
It's eroded away from your stinkiness.
Probably also doesn't help when I, like, ironically use Uru talk. I think it's rotting away my brain. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe for more Chocobo. God, why won't you let me die?
Chocobo's wish gets to talk. Chocobo only talks in Orudo. Why do we? Oh God, you're Atla. I'm sorry, Chocobo, old pal. Just turn around and think about the rabbits.
Ooh, the rabbits! Yeah, bye.
Cheerio. Hope you continue enjoying this peggy-free game.
Yep.